El Paso has a rich and deep history of more than 400 years, lots of life and lots of death, and there are those who believe many places here are haunted. KFOX News at 9's Daniel Novick tries to contact people from the past in tonight's KFOX 14 Special Assignment.
You hear that over there? I heard a voice.
Is that you over there making that noise?
What is that? Oh my God.
El Paso is, I like to consider, one of the most haunted cities in the Southwest. We're kind of neck and neck, I'd like to consider, with places like New Orleans, Santa Fe, maybe even some cities on the East Coast.
Henry Flores is the founder of the Paso Del Norte Paranormal Society.
Paranormal activity is stuff that cannot be proven through basic science.
Tonight, we are interviewing Henry in the basement of the Portales Milling Warehouse in the historic McGoffin neighborhood.
The workers here, they say that they hear a lady screaming, a man working with them, pushing boxes.
Before we even got started with the ghost hunting that night, I asked Henry about the spirit in this basement where we were conducting our interview.
That it's a lady that's in distress here. We've left our audio recorders here overnight and we've captured that. We want to see if we can capture that again. Weird part is that it happened. Let's see, there's another movie. Is that you that I was talking about? I didn't mean any disrespect.
There was no one in that back room where the sounds came from, and with that, I think our interview here is over.
Do you want to use this one?
The crew gears up using a K2 meter that measures electromagnetic activity, an ambient temperature gauge as spirits are said to use heat, and mirror clears to pick up even the faintest of sounds. We begin our investigation upstairs in the warehouse. It's me, my photographer Joe, Veronica, Henry, and another Daniel. And it didn't take long for something to happen.
We have some action. Was that you over there making that noise?
Henry runs an EVP session, that's short for electronic voice phenomenon, where he tries to talk to the spirit. And moments later,
I heard something right on that mattress. I mean, it was either that mattress or right behind it.
we go up to the balcony looking over the warehouse floor for a better look. And after more than half an hour of attempts to make contact, we get our first sign.
It's 80. Now, you know, logic tells us that heat rises, but it drops down to 71 right above us.
Spirits take the heat out of a spot to use as energy to manifest, and this spirit is right above us.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, a little sound or something.
Off to the left.
Yeah.
Over the course of the next 7 minutes, we have multiple contacts with the spirit.
Do you hear that thumping?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was the roof.
That was, yeah.
God.
What the hell?
Oh my God.
What is that?
Is that you?
There's nothing on the wall.
Somebody's walking.
I mean, that came from the outside coming in.
Yeah.
Like someone was on the roof.
And then something fell, but there's, you know, right
At the
here,
same time.
There's
It was
nothing.
like right there. I thought it was a little farther.
There it is again.
That's right in front of us.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get my attention, you have it.
Man. Making me a believer.
This spirit clearly likes some of us more than others.
Is there 5 children?
Veronica tried multiple times to get in contact with this spirit, as did Henry, but there was no response. Yet every time Daniel said something,
If you're not allowed in this place, knock 2 times like this. Are you a good spirit? Okay.
Usually when it's 2 knocks, it's a no.
Yeah.
I don't know about 3.
so it's not a good spirit, and that's our cue to call it quits and head back downstairs, back into the basement where we interviewed Henry.
It got so cold. There was a draft.
Something came through. I didn't feel it.
I felt it on my right hand, and it got very cold, extremely cold.
Our baseline reading when we walked in here
Was 81.
It's at 67 now.
Daniel tries an EVP session as my right hand continues to feel a constant cold and burning sensation.
Is there a reason why you keep touching him?
With no response, Henry recommends I try talking to the spirit. Watch the K2 meter in Daniel's hand.
Do you know any of my family from around the turn of the century, around 1900?
K2 went off.
Do you know any Novicks? If you knew my family, the Novicks, give me a sign. Touch my hand. Oh my God. It's like a wave of cold over my knuckles.
We have seen and felt and touched and experienced so many things that we can prove wrong with evidence that we have that there's paranormal activity here in El Paso.
Wow, and Daniel Novick is here now, and you kind of alluded to it in the story, but are you a believer now, Daniel?
Yeah, you know, I wasn't a believer before we got started, but by the end of that night, things were not explainable, especially the cold on my hand. It felt like icy hot. There's no other reason of why that happened.
And I know a lot of people out there, viewers, are probably wondering, was this all real? How do you know you didn't get hosed?
Well, maybe, yeah, they could have set this up for me and played a trick, but these are people who spend 4, 6, 8 hours a couple times a month in pitch blackness, talking to no one, and they have to work in the morning. They're receptionists, they're engineers. There's just no reason why they would waste so much of their time for, you know, essentially setting me up or setting someone else up. It's all true. Everything, other than maybe a little bit of music that we put in the beginning and the end, everything that you saw and that you heard actually happened.
Well, I think you convinced at least a few people out there. Thanks very much,
Thank
Daniel.
you.
And if you'd like to follow the Paso Del Norte Paranormal Society, we've provided a link to their website on our website, KFOXTV.com.